So I think when it comes to power scaling, everyone always has a question in mind of how far does Goku scale? And that's a fairly good question. Goku is a very strong fictional character. But I got to thinking of some like verses and stuff. And one came to mind and I kind of wanted to talk about it. Uh and it's FNAF. And you might be thinking, Jacob, what the fuck are you talking about? Hear me out. So, first off, we're gonna get into why some of the FNAF characters in the game might be able to scale against Goku, as well as situations, criteria, and all that for Goku, and then the animatronics themselves and whatnot, and also who might be able to stand a chance. So, in the situation we're gonna have with Goku, right? Maybe not necessarily fighting them, but let's say Goku was in the game, right? Like, how far would he scale in that sense? We will be taking in consideration of Goku being able to go into Ultra Instinct, which does matter. I'm not gonna get into all of his abilities, tier, whatnot. I'm also on the Versus Battle wiki. It's Wikipedia. I don't really give a shit. Uh, there's a specific ability that Ultra Instinct Goku has that matters. This matters. It's Heat Generation. And in or that's in Sign technically, but in perfected form he has Fire Manipulation. And we'll get into why that matters in a second. And you might be asking yourself, okay, how does this even get close to scaling with Goku? Okay, well, like I said, in this scenario, Goku like arrives at the pizzeria, and of course he's like, "Oh, you're strong. Let's fight." But Goku likes playing by the rules, so we're gonna play by the rules of the game. Rules of the game is he can't move, cameras, all that stuff, all that nonsense. He has all that same stuff. So how far can Goku get in just UI into this game? So we'll kind of get into it. If you guys are curious on like attack levels, everyone's like basically wall level, street level. Like Midoriya has a chance against some of these guys. We have some subsonic speeds, superhuman speeds, but that's nothing compared to Goku. Lifting strength, all that stuff. Like the attack stuff is a little bit irrelevant when we get into it. One of the main points for FNAF is that there is something in the FNAF universe called Remnant. And to kind of read it out to you, Remnant is a key substance in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Remnant is a term for the physical manifestation of memories infused with and possessing inanimate objects, making it a driving force behind the paranormal occurrences in the animatronics besides the spirits themselves. They also have Agony, which is the other main supernatural energy in Five Nights at Freddy's series, and it's considered to be the opposite of Remnant. While Remnant is a combination of metal and good emotions and memories, Agony is just negative emotions and bad memories. Just like Remnant, it is a driver for supernatural abilities, phenomena, but unlike Remnant, these are usually violent. And spirits, also called ghosts or crying child, it's a little bit kind of like both. Can either remain due to Agony or Remnant, which can attach themselves to either mechanical or metal things or organic beings. So here are some things about Remnant. Remnant basically is just what makes all the animatronics. Like why they're alive and everything. So, and some have Agony, some have Remnant. Depends on which animatronic, and we'll get into that in a second. So, as far as some of the abilities go, a big one is that these guys are immortal. They are immortal. Which, You might think, oh, but how is Goku gonna beat something that's immortal? Well, Goku has dealt with like basically immortal enemies before. I mean, Buu is one of the closest things to immortal. You know, like we have seen Goku deal with enemies stronger than street level, right? I think this is fine. As well as they also have weaknesses, so like low tier remnants are weak to fire. Hence why I pointed out this ability right here, the fire manipulation, right? Because low tier remnants are weak to fire, any low tier remnant just kind of dies. As soon as they go to Goku, they just die. Right? And you get to mid tier, has all the low tier weaknesses, although they can break out of their programming when enraged. So they're still weak to fire. High tier remnants are have all the mid tier weaknesses, but are less bound by their programming. But then we get to peak tier. And peak tier has all of the high tier weaknesses. However, they are not weak to fire and heat anymore. So what we're looking for are peak tier remnants for Son Goku. And there's only a few. But like I said, we'll get into a couple of them. Let's look at some of the more abilities. So like I said, we have immortality right here. Also have a little bit of limited healing, but eh. Mid tiers have enhanced mortality or immortality. Technology manipulation. Goku's not very technologically inclined, so I mean this could bode well for the FNAF side. And I also do want to point out like low tier remnants. These are some of the characters. I mean Michael Afton is one of them. I believe Michael Afton, if I'm not mistaken, is I think you just pull it up. This guy right here. So once he's scooped in sister location, he is infused with remnant. That's kind of where he gets like that low tier remnant ability from. So mid tier you have like all the toy animatronics, Mangle, Balloon Boy, Circus Baby, Funtime Foxy, Ennard. Like that's like your basic animatronic right there. High tier remnants, which have enhanced immortality. Users possess an absurd capability to take damage and still survive, to the point where even being reduced to nothing but a mask and a soul will not kill them. Bonnie can operate his head while it's separate from his body. So this is quite important. This is kind of similar to like how Buu is, you could just destroy his body over and over again, but if there's like even a little bit left, then he's coming back. It's kind of like the Flood from Halo, right? Like it's like one spore can take out an entire civilization or entire solar systems or whatever they say. This is also accessible by like some of the main animatronics, so like Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, the puppet. So we are kind of at a point right now with at high tier where these guys do have like enhanced immortality. However, they are still weak to fire. And enough fire, like it says right here, enough fire can nullify the effects, which sucks. Sucks for FNAF. Then we get into peak tier, right? And peak tier just has all of these extra things added onto their kit. So enhance perception manipulation. Essentially illusions. So Springtrap can make illusions that can cause you to doubt the sounds that you hear. Can make you see words in your minds like ballet dancers spinning and leaping and dipping. So Springtrap himself has very high perception manipulation. That's specifically with Agony. There's also there's with Agony and with Remnant, which are both a little bit different. Agony is the stronger one. So we'll look at that a little bit more. We have memory manipulation, mind manipulation, soul manipulation, sealing, and power nullifications. So you see sealing right here, and somebody might be thinking, oh, sealing, if sealing is involved, why can't Goku use the Mifubo? Well, like I said, we're playing by FNAF rules, so Goku can't use the Mifubo because he's stuck into the one spot, right? And even if you want to go by like FNAF 4 and FNAF 5 rules or sister location rules where you can move around, I mean, it's doubtful that they have a jar in set establishments, right? So technically, any peak tier remnant with agony could seal Goku, right? And we have power nullification as well, which to me, just to see, power nullification or negation is the ability to nullify the powers and abilities of others, preventing or disabling their effects. Which is, I mean, it's exactly what it sounds like. So, I'm not gonna rail this. This is all just exposition, and totally not anything that could probably nullify my argument. However, essentially, they could just cancel out anything Goku could do, right? And I already know some of y'all are thinking like, oh, well, Goku has UI, so like he can't be hit, right? However, with this, with the power nullification, any peak tier remnant can't hit him. Right? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. Immortality as well. This says enhanced type 6. So type 6 is parasitic. So it can just latch on to basically anything. It can abandon its own body and transfer consciousness to another body. So even if Goku were to get rid of it, it would still eventually just go on to another being. And it also said that the remnants have like previous abilities, which you have like resilient immortality. Characters with this degree of immortality can indefinitely survive injuries that would otherwise be lethal to a normal person. So that did apply to like the high tier remnants. However, those it's different for high tiers because they kind of lose the heat. But with peak tier, you know, it does help a little bit. So yeah, like peak tier remnants are actually like very, very strong. Not to get in like every little thing, but those are like the big ones that I wanted to point out. So that being said, we'll get into some of the characters. Here's some of the characters if you want to look at it, but I'll go into a little bit more detail with it. So in FNAF, you have all the games. So in FNAF 1, really the only one that can really do anything is Golden Freddy. So Golden Freddy himself has Remnant and Agony peak tier. So Golden Freddy has all of these abilities with Remnant and with Agony. And with Remnant, I mean, he has like memory manipulation, empathic manipulation, aura. He has aura, which is cool. Minor temperature manipulation. So, I mean, he has all this, but mainly it's like the Agony part we want to look at. So, that being said, could bode well against Goku if Goku triggers the FNAF 1 Easter egg by looking at the poster and spawns Golden Freddy in the room. I think Golden Freddy could win, but it is a very low chance. So I think in like FNAF 1, I think Goku would be fine. We'll also have like teleportation, transformation. I mean, he has all this astral projection. I mean, like if Golden Freddy gets in the room, it's kind of like a knife in a gunfight. It's like if the knife gets close to the gunman, they just lose. It's the same thing. Like Goku might be aware of this person's existence, but as long as he doesn't do anything to bring him into the room with him, then it's fine. And you know, we can look at like attack potency, you know, it's street level, right? However, this is all stuff that Goku can't. Goku can't deal with like an immortal sealing pain manipulating power nullification spirit. Like it's just not something he's ever really dealt with. He's dealt with a lot, but that might not bode well for him. So, uh, like I said, it's a matter of Goku taking precautions to not spawn him into the room. So if he does, Golden Freddy diffs him like hard, even in UI. So next one we have William Afton. No one. Well, before I get into William Afton, there is one mention. No one in 2 can really take on Goku, but I will mention Crying Child because Crying Child is a remnant spirit, and remnant spirits have all these abilities, as well as immortality, self-sustenance, incorporability, intangibility. So Goku couldn't really do anything to Crying Child. However, Crying Child doesn't really have like a reason to hurt Goku, so it's like doesn't really matter. William Afton, however, would have like many reasons to hurt anybody. So obviously, like pre-Spring Lock, William Afton. I mean, he's just a guy, right? The main thing about William Afton, before Spring Lock, is that he does have it. Like he's a genius. Like this guy is a genius. Goku is not a genius. Fighting wise, he is, but like Goku can't really do anything, right? But post Spring Lock failure, he is a peak tier agony remnant, and he also has supernatural willpower. So like even if Goku were to do something, right? Like he's not surviving against this. He has like fire manipulation as well. Like this guy can't do anything against UI or this guy can bode well against UI Goku even with like the fire manipulation. And the heat generation that UI gives off. Spring Trap or William Afton would bode pretty well against it. So like just a reminder, Agony, Peak Remnant, Conceal, Power Nullification. I mean, like, it's crazy to say, but Spring Trap kind of just dips Goku. Being able to nullify Goku's like UI and then just kill him is quite insane. Honorable mention, I did bring up Foxy. The thing with Foxy. I should also bring up Balloon Boy. This is also from the second game. Like I said, I don't think anyone from the second game can really do anything against UI Goku, but I guess I'll still mention it just for the sake of argument. So with these characters, so Balloon Boy, what happens is, like, in 2, he kind of just sticks in front of your screen and doesn't let you use the flashlight. If you can't use a flashlight, Foxy will jump scare you. Which would be a problem, but with the heat generation, Foxy kind of just gets diffed like hard. And some of you might be able to argue like, oh, but what about the Freddy mask? Doesn't Goku need the Freddy mask? Yeah, but even if they show up, like, what are they going to do with the heat generation, right? Like this is still a big problem for some of these animatronics, right? So, fortunately, Puppets, it's like the same thing. Puppet, it isn't really gonna do much. I mean that heat generation will just destroy him. Even if Goku doesn't like crank the music box, it's just not really boding too well for them. No one in 4, like no one in 4 can really do anything. No one in Sister Location can really do anything either. A Pizzeria Simulator, I mean, it's the same thing. Like, we kind of get to a point where it's really just these remnants right here, and you might notice this right here, the one you shouldn't have killed. I had the tab right here. So basically, this entity I mean, I'll just read the summary off to you. After coming to terms with his business partner, murdering countless children's, including both their daughters, and being killed and reanimated into Spring Bonnie suit, Henry and Emily, the co-owner of Fazbear Entertainment, finally set into motion to a plan that would end William Afton and all the tormented souls left in his wake. So basically, William Afton fucking kills children, all that shit, and his business partner goes out of his way to basically kill him. So just to kind of paraphrase a little bit, they kill William. However, this spirit, the one you shouldn't have killed, does this funny little thing and actually saves William, only to kill William more. If you guys are familiar with the Ultimate Custom Night is basically just like a FNAF. It's just FNAF simulator. You just kind of run simulations, and anytime you die, you could think of it as this character killing William Afton. This character basically latches on to I'll just say Springtrap just for easier purpose. Springtrap's soul, and puts him in this game, and just continues to kill him. So if we're using the criteria that I've said, because my video, my rules, where Goku is in this game, so Goku would take the position of William. The idea is that if you beat this game, this entity kind of like lets you go, but I mean, in reality, it's you're not. This is more so like a Diablo, like a part 5 Diablo situation where you're just kind of infinitely dying. And I mean, at a certain point, this entity receives advice from Old Man Consequences and stops tormenting William. But Goku always loves a challenge, so I think even the wise old man Consequence would say like, hey, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, ending the quote unquote torment would bode bad just for like Goku's sake. You wouldn't be able to rest Goku's soul, right? Ending off this fight, he's gonna constantly want to best you. So it's kind of like a paradoxical problem. You have this person who wants to forgive the killer, and in this case we'll say like Son Goku, because like he has taken that spot. But Goku doesn't want the fight to stop, and it won't rest their soul. So you kind of have like this, like I said, this paradoxical outcome of Goku just dying over and over again, right? And just to point out, agony peaked here. So, we have the ceiling power nullification. I mean, like, sealed to the building that they're in, power nullifications. Like Goku's getting diffed by this spirit. Even like dimensional travel, and I believe infinite stamina, which is something that Goku can't deal with. Goku can't deal with infinite stamina. This kind of equates to like the androids in a way. So it's not like to a T, but there are some like similarities. And he goes to just like create all these animatronics, which is kind of how like you die in Ultimate Custom Night, is just from this spirit creating animatronics. And then relies on animatronics to attack due to them having no corporal or physical form. So yeah, it's kind of weird how like this entity can't really do anything except spawn these animatronics. And realistically, if you think about it, like all of these animatronics kind of just lose to Goku, but you have Golden Freddy and Springtrap, which are two that you can't these two can kill Goku, so it's technically an infinite loop. The something worth noting is in this game you can choose like a difficulty setting for each animatronic. So you can turn off technically like Golden Freddy and Springtrap, but as we know, right? Goku wanting a challenge, he will probably have all of the animatronics maxed out. And I mean, these guys are always going to be there to spawn. And I believe there actually is like a something as far as speed goes, right? Subsonic. So I don't know as far as like subsonic goes when it comes to Goku's speed. I believe Goku's speed is like insane. Did I miss it? Yeah. Yeah, faster than light. I mean, like, yeah. Like, no. As far as like a speed comparison, like faster than light, yeah. Even though Goku like isn't moving, you'd still like see this coming from like a mile away, right? Can't do anything, but right. So that's it. I do think that I guess I shouldn't have closed the tabs. I do think like Golden Freddy and okay. Oh, hold on one second. Let me pull up the tabs again. Okay. I do think that Goku does kind of just diff like most of the FNAF universe. But in certain games, so like in I guess in he kind of loses in 1, 2, and 3 because he's having to deal in 1 and 2 he's having to deal with Golden Freddy, right? Now, granted, in 1 he has to hit the Easter egg, which he can avoid, but if he wants to do Night 6 in 2, then you have to deal with Golden Freddy in Night 2, and Goku is gonna want to do the challenge. So, and you know the 820 challenge in or the 1020 challenge in FNAF 2, he's gonna want to do that, and that you're gonna see Golden Freddy a bunch. So like Goku is gonna get diffed by Golden Freddy in 1 and 2, 1 if he does Easter egg obviously, and then like William Afton in 3 is just gonna he's only animatronic, so I mean he's gonna just diff Goku hard. I don't know if Goku has the mental capacity of working with technology to like closing the doors and or not maybe not closing doors, but like working with like the sounds to lure him away. To me, Goku would want Springtrap to show up to fight, and he would lose. And then obviously we have the one you shouldn't have killed, which is basically just like the Diablo paradoxical loop. You know, putting Goku in that purgatory. So that's it. I got bored. So there you go.